This is a Fox News alert. The jury in Baltimore says it is deadlocked, but the judge says go back in and deliberate. Right now, everyone on pins and needles. Will Officer William Porter be convicted, found not guilty, or a mistrial? On the record's Griff Jenkins has been in court all day, is live in Baltimore. Griff.
Hi, Greta. Just 9 hours. That's how long it took the jury to get deadlocked. Around 3:30 this afternoon, they told the judge they were deadlocked. Judge Williams brought them in the courtroom and told them to get back to deliberating. The jury broke about 5:30, adjourned for the day. They will return and begin deliberating again tomorrow morning at 8:30. Earlier in the day, Judge Williams denied defense motions for a mistrial and for a change of venue, which was a motions based upon a letter today from the Baltimore City Schools warning parents of potential unrest in the wake of a verdict. And throughout the day, we didn't see much, Greta, but we did see some notes being passed from the jury to the judge, asking questions, some small requests for materials like Post-it notes or speakers for a computer as they reviewed evidence. And outside the courtroom, there's also news. We saw law enforcement agencies from all across the state staging in Druid Hill Park up in western Baltimore where the unrest was, where there were armored cars and a show of force. The Baltimore police confirming that they are just getting ready and getting their preparations in the anticipated verdict this week. Now, when will that come? We don't know. Tomorrow, the jury could be deadlocked again. The judge could send them back. All we do know is at the beginning of this trial, Judge Williams had indicated that he would like to have this over by Thursday, December 17th. Greta?
And as a side note to the viewers, it's Griff Jenkins' birthday today, and he's out there reporting for us and not celebrating, at least not yet. Thank you, Griff. And the on-the-record legal panel is here. Former homicide detective and criminal defense attorney Ted Williams and former prosecutor Katie Fang. Katie, let's start with the basics. The judge came back today and said they're deadlocked. They couldn't reach a verdict, and the judge says go back in doing what's called an Allen charge. What does that mean? Because that has legal significance at this point.
It is. It's a decision from a number of years ago, and interestingly, half the states in the United States are not allowed to have an Allen charge. The judge basically told the jury, I respect the fact that you guys claim that you're deadlocked, but you got to go back in and you got to give it another go-around. And Greta and Ted, if they come back deadlocked again tomorrow, then the jury has to tell the judge, we cannot reach a verdict on one or maybe all of the charges against Officer Porter, so it'll be interesting to see. But frankly, I think we're going to get a verdict tomorrow, and it may just be a deadlock.
And we should say we can't give a second Allen charge. It's a one-time deal, right? The judge can't do this again.
He can't basically bully them into coming into a verdict, either not guilty or guilty. If they say that they don't have a decision, he has to respect the jury that they cannot reach a verdict on one or all the charges. Okay,
now let's go to voodoo, Ted. We're not in the jury.
Yeah. We can talk about voodoo.
So you're good at that, right, Louisiana? Okay, we're not in the jury room. We have no idea, but you followed this case so closely. You've been in Baltimore. What are your thoughts that's going on in there?
My thoughts is there's a tremendous fight going on in the jury here. I think that you have jurors who believe that they want to convict, and quite naturally, there are people who are opposing it. When you look at the charges that have been brought against these officers, I have said all along that I believe there's been an overcharge. But, Greta, the judge has a problem here, because if there's a mistrial declared, next month, the other 5 officers are going on trial. The prosecution has said clearly that they want Officer Porter to testify against the other officers. It's a very confused state of affairs.
Which, of course, he's not going to be testifying unless, of course, he cuts some deal. He's not going to be testifying, Katie, in the next trial, no matter what, unless there's some incredible deal that the prosecutor persuades him.
Listen, if the jury comes back deadlocked and they have a mistrial, that prosecutor, Marilyn Mosby, better reconsider what she's doing with these charges. It sends a huge message not only to the potential jury pool, but to the city and the community of Baltimore that maybe, just maybe, like Ted said, she overcharged on this. But yeah, the Officer Porter, he has no obligation to sit there and testify in any of the subsequent trials unless he gets a sweetheart deal from the state attorney's office.
And the way we lawyers look at it, perspective, is that if it's a not guilty, it's a win for the defense. If it's a guilty, it's a win for the prosecution. If it's a deadlock, which means a mistrial, that is a win for the defense. And has a big loss to the prosecution.
Or it is a tremendously big loss for the prosecution. And I would have to believe that the prosecution in this case, Greta, would charge with their strongest and go with their strongest case first. I don't know if Porter is the strongest case.
I think they go with the one on the outside, the least culpable, so they're trying to flip them to testify to the one
Porter,
most...
I think they're going to have a heck of a time or flipping Porter. I think he has constitutional Fifth Amendment rights, and he's going nowhere.
Ted, Katie, thank you.